Hey, folks, welcome to Rolling Start, the American F1 podcast. We are here in Tustin, California
Hey,
at World of Racing.
World of Racing. As you can see by the giant simulator, which is Spa de Francorchamps from Belgium this last Sunday.
Incredible. And all the maps behind us.
Who can name this map? Who can name? I can't reach the other ones. Ben can point to them.
This one.
Name the maps in the comments if you know which racetracks they are.
Yeah.
Hint, none of them are Vegas.
Yeah, can you imagine Vegas being one of the maps?
It's just an upside down pig.
No, it's too much. It's too much. James, what is happening this Tuesday night at World of Racing here in Tustin and also in Pasadena?
Yeah, Tustin, Pasadena, and, man, Phoenix now as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Every Tuesday after the race, they do a Formula One night. So you can sit in one of these simulators here and you can race, you can qualify, you can practice in a Formula One car on the track that they just raced. And the best news is it probably won't be a 2-hour race delay before you get into going.
Yeah. We have yet to do this.
Yes.
We need to do this. These rigs are incredible.
They're amazing.
They were giving us the rundown of the rigs when we were in here setting up.
Yes.
This is the kind of rigs Max and Lando and Jack doing. These are the kind of things these guys are racing on.
One of these costs what most people make in a year. And it doesn't make sense for you to have one of these in your house, but it does make sense for you to come here and to sit in one of these things and feel what it is like to race a Formula One car.
You know, Jonathan, who works here, was talking to us about how they help people get up to driving F1. And I walk in, I'm like, I'm one of those guys who's like, listen,
Ben, that's your toxic trait. That's your toxic trait, dude.
Let me just add
You're
it.
like, I can do
this. I would get obliterated. But I would be one of those guys who I don't want to do the junior formulas. I don't want to do the other formulas. Just get me into F1 and I would bend it into the wall every time.
Exactly.
So,
but maybe that's what life is for, is to enjoy these things.
Yeah.
And go for it.
Absolutely.
But come out here on Tuesday night and test your skills. See if you're as good as Max in the wet, or challenge yourself and put yourself in a Ferrari this season.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. We just saw Spa. We had a sprint.
Yes.
Can we talk about the sprint for a second? I don't know that Spa's the right track for a sprint race.
Okay.
What do you think about this?
Because Spa is a track that is bipolar, dude.
Well, of course. It reminds me of Cleveland, Ohio.
It is. It's just and the people in it.
Yes.
It's bipolar, and it is. So we got a great sprint race because it was sunny and beautiful, and then we had a crazy delay and an overprotective FIA on Sunday. And so I think it was a bittersweet moment for me because Spa's going towards a more of like an every other year rather than an every single year, which
I didn't even know that was an option.
Well, the Europeans are freaking out because it's historic. It's been there for years and years and years. But you got to make way for American tracks. So we need more. We only got 3. We need a couple more American tracks. Okay.
We need at least 10 American tracks.
We're going to do one right in Texas, and we're going to have the Clydesdales, the Budweiser Clydesdales, circling the track. And if the car can beat the Clydesdales, everyone gets a bacon-wrapped hot dog. So they're kind of like freaking out because the track is going to be going to every other. But I think it's good. It's really cool. It was really hard for people to overtake, except for one person.
Lance Stroll. Canadians' favorite son in F1. I was like, watching Teddy. I love Teddy Kravitz. Sky Sports. Top shelf. And Teddy's like, no one could overtake in this sprint except Lance Stroll.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, from what? 15th to 14th? Like, what do we even care?
Yes.
I've got other things later on.
Yeah, it's not like Hamilton on Sunday when he started in the pit lane and ended in the points.
Oh, significantly in the points. I have another thing about that, though, because he was behind a Williams that he couldn't pass the entire race.
Yeah, because he had just did a dogfight on medium tires in the Ferrari, and Yes, exactly. For 20 laps,
in no
he was
universe,
shredded. He had no fight left in him. No
in
fight
no
in the car.
universe should a Ferrari
I'm not saying it's right. I'm just
be
saying
behind a Williams of Alex Albon, just cruising back there, just following his taillights.
that's true. And I think also, to our earlier point, it's probably a reason why we should consider not having a sprint race at Spa, because it has become increasingly difficult in this era of cars for people to overtake.
Yes.
And they were even saying that the DRS zones, it's only 12 kilometers per hour that they're gaining at the end of it. And then when they put on these low downforce setups, it's not even it just negates the overtaking ability because they can't get that much more speed.
Yeah. So the sprint, not much to write home about. Let's go, though. Before we go and talk about the race, we have got to address what we haven't actually had a chance to talk about, which is the exit of Christian Horner
Cornergate
from Red Bull, effective immediately.
Yeah.
So I have a couple thoughts here. So,
well, effective within 12 hours, which I would consider immediately.
Yeah. It was like a 2-week break.
Yeah.
So it was, it didn't even wait till the full summer break.
No.
But effective within 12 hours. So I have a couple thoughts here. Horner built Red Bull. He's the architect of that team.
The only team principal in its history up until the time he left.
To this point. He is the OG. He's never been an owner.
Nope.
Which was a vulnerability for him.
Yep.
Now, I think the exit of Horner from Red Bull is not just obviously the end of an era for Red Bull. It is the end of an era for team principals in F1. Because Horner and Toto represented a certain type of team principal.
Yes.
They were team principals who weren't engineers.
Correct.
They were politicians.
And drivers. They were old drivers.
Right. But they were people who were leaders in the sense that they understood how to manage this monstrosity that's an F1 team, but they weren't engineers, and that they understood the dynamics of a car in the way that a lot of team principals now are all engineers. And so
that's a really good point.
Horner, he was classic, cutthroat, political, ruthless, the lead piranha in the piranha club that is the F1 team principals. He leads Red Bull for over 2 decades.
Yes.
Unapologetic ruthlessness.
Yes.
We've talked about this at length. We've talked about how that was his trademark. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen.
Yes.
We're going to give you 2 races, Liam Lawson, and then we're booting you from the team.
Yes.
This is just who we are. We're the bad boy Red Bull team. You can't handle us.
Yep.
You got to go. Now we realize, and this I think was potentially to his downfall, but I have some questions for you after this. We realize that this philosophy that Horner's embodied was a farce the whole time.
Yeah.
It wasn't that Red Bull was a bad boy team, and if you can't handle the heat, get out. It was that they poorly designed their car around a single driver. They gave Max so much power in the team because he's the only human being on earth who can drive that car. And it wasn't that no one else could match Max. It was that car was so poorly designed that no one else could drive it. So my questions for you is this. Was Horner holding Red Bull back?
Wow, that's a really big question. Was Horner holding Red Bull back? The man goes from 21 years of service and within 12 hours is essentially jobless. Now he's still on staff at Red Bull, paid for however long that matters.
Some kind of severance.
The point is that he's gone from being the top of the game to out of it. And was he the one holding Red Bull back? I don't think as an organization at that level, you can make that gamble on your own.
Yeah.
I think he would have gone down that route with Max, and it would have started a few years ago.
Yeah, several years ago at this point.
And it started working pretty much right after Danny left. It started working where they started tweaking the car towards Max. Gasly couldn't handle it.
Albon couldn't handle it.
The list goes on.
Checo, Liam.
They just kept going. And ultimately, they never pivoted from that because the performance of the car would allow Max to win championships,
4.
for the team to win along with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then this year, the problem is that the car is not there, but the strategy still is. So they've tweaked a car towards Max, but now the car's useless. Max can't even really drive it that well. I mean, he was in P4 today. He started in P4. He entered in P4. That's not Max Verstappen.
No, not at all.
No, he couldn't overtake. He tried multiple times. I mean, it's not like he was behind someone that he's never overtaken before.
It was Chuck.
It was Chuck. It was Leclerc. It's not the easiest person to overtake, but it's not impossible.
It's
and
a
he's
Ferrari.
proven that.
Yeah.
He has proven that. And he was on fire the day before. He won obviously the sprint race. I think it's not Horner's fault. He wasn't the one holding them back, but he sure is complicit in the overall plan that has led Red Bull to this point.
Yeah.
Where they have a team where every other team is one car, 2 drivers, and their team is one car, 1 driver, and then another guy who drives the car that the other driver can only drive.
Yeah.
And that's not working.
I would disagree. I would say the buck has to stop with Horner because he has always, well, first and foremost, he was the only spokesperson for the team. The entire 2 decades he was there. He was the single voice because he was the president, CEO, team principal, whatever his official titles, but he was the top.
Yep.
And his mantra and his leadership for the entire tenure was, this is who we are. This is how we design our car. Deal with it or get out of the team. And so that's the culture of Red Bull. And the culture, is determined top down, bottom up, however you want to say. But when Horner is such a strong presence, and he has been that in Red Bull over the decades, I think you have to say Horner ultimately is responsible for the direction this team has went. He has taken the team on a several year journey, ever winding down a single road, which put all power into that one seat.
Yeah.
Max had all the power. Max had all the cards. Max was the only person in the team that was able to actually wrangle this car. And so he has all the cards. He has all of the eggs in his basket. And at the end of the day, that is not anyone else's fault. It's Horner's fault. Now, obviously, it's a team. It's a massive organization. But
the buck stops.
He's the one championing that kind of culture. He's the one that I think, as really the founder of that team in so many ways,
100%.
that's the culture he creates. And so at the end of the day,
he was the one that convinced them to even do this.
And it was that culture and that philosophy of car design that has now, in just a few years, taken the most dominant team in F1 history, the most dominant car in F1 history. And here's a stat that's crazy for you. The last 4 races prior to Spa, Red Bull scored less points than Kick. And that's with Max.
In the last 4 races, Kick has scored more points than Red Bull.
Yes. If
that's not a wake-up call.
If Max was removed from the team, Red Bull would be the last place.
Yeah. I don't even remember the last time Yuki scored points, if he has at all.
So if you had the most dominant car, the most dominant team 2 years ago, and you are now a back marker team, at the end of the day, when the owners are looking for someone, they're not looking at Max.
And that's the job you sign up for. That's the job you sign up for. And I get that part. It's the Piranha Club.
It is.
And I just think that the question of, was it Horner that was holding Red Bull back? I don't think that's a question. It's a great question. I just don't think that's the main reason why he was fired. I don't think it was just performance. I think performance alleviated the drama that happened over a year ago.
If they were
the internal investigations, the allegations coming back up, the court dates, the stuff with this, he is the only spokesperson.
Yes,
and the limelight was on the team principal rather than the brand, rather than the drivers, and rather than the car. And so I think part of what happened, unfortunately, optics is a part of the game too. It's the blood in the water if it's a Piranha game.
Do you think if their performance was still even towards the top of the field, he would still have a job?
I think he would still have a job if their performance was up there. And I think their performance in 2023, when all of that came out, was the only thing that kept him in the job.
Yeah. That's a great point.
I think the reason why we're seeing it now is there's a whole bunch of back channeling. Previously, he was backed by the owners that had 51%.
Yeah,
they
the
no
Thai
longer have that
ownership.
anymore. And then, obviously the Red Bull side of it, they're 49% now. They have stronger voting rights, all that stuff. There's that whole side of it. But he lost his support on the back end. But I just also think their performance this year has dictated it. But had he not had that personal drama that came out, I don't think we would be having this conversation, because every team goes through lulls.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I have a larger question though for you. We see a movement in F1 towards engineers as team principals. Do you think Horner's exit,
unless you're Alpine and you bring Flavio back,
it's like
the
guy who
playboy
got
from
banned,
the 80s.
Let's bring this guy back.
Yeah, exactly. Who got crashed? Who's like literally in charge of Crashgate, a lifetime ban from F1, yet is somehow on the Alpine F1 pit wall.
Is all you need to know about Alpine. That's all you need to know about Alpine.
Literally.
But my question though to you is this: do you think F1 as a sport is moving past this era of the Horner type of team principal?
For sure. I think they are. That's evident, because Toto's really the only one that's left. I'm not sure what Freddie's background is, but the other guys,
engineer.
Yeah, they're all engineers.
Yeah.
And so and obviously we don't have anything against engineers, but I think we're moving, if anything, more towards the restructuring of Formula One teams to look more like McLaren, where you have Zach Brown, who's still that Toto-esque business guy, was a racer. Still, like when you think of like those kind of team principles, you think of Zach, Toto, and Christian.
Yep.
They play that game because it's not just about engineering to them. It's about the entire picture. It's about all 1,000 employees. And it's about the brand, and it's about furthering it. And for me, I think we'll see teams move more towards that, where you have Zach as the CEO of McLaren Racing, and you have Andrea as the team principal underneath him.
Yep.
Where he's still able, when he's there, no one thinks like, oh, why is Zach here?
Yeah. Yeah.
And when Andrea is there, they don't think, why is Zach not here, or why is Andrea here?
Yep.
And I think we'll see that when Toto passes. I think we'll see that age of Formula One go, because Formula One's only getting bigger. The F1 movie cleared 500 million worldwide so far. Like, that's Avengers numbers when Avengers was like good. Like that's crazy. Movies don't do that anymore. We're seeing a resurge of the weekends, packed stadiums worldwide. America is obviously responsible for a massive part of that. We're literally over 1/3 of the market now.
That's significant.
We pretty much double year over year fan base wise, and we're only going to see that affect F1 as a business as much as it affects F1 as a sport. And so I think McLaren is kind of going to become the blueprint of what we see Formula One leadership and teams look like in the future.
Yeah.
I didn't think these questions were going here, but I'm loving this.
Oh, no, dude. I'm telling you, I want to just park here for a minute, because this is obviously a massive news story. My last question on Red Bull and Christian Horner. Horner has always been very hard on that second seat. Max is such a once-in-a-generation talent that, like, it's one of those guys, like, what kind of notes are you going to give Max, right? Like, we don't,
exactly.
You don't see that harshness towards Max's seat, because Max is untouchable in so many senses. But what kind of relationship do you think the second driver, Yuki right now, is now going to have within the team now that Horner's not the team principal? Do you feel like some of the pressure on that second seat is going to come off now that Horner's not there?
Yes and no. I feel like you've ever driven a stick shift car?
No.
Okay, so it's the same in an automatic, but you know when you're accelerating and you get all the way to the top of the gear,
Yeah.
and then you feel it. The car cuts out for a second, and
Yep.
then it drops down. It's like this big breath of fresh air.
Yep.
And then boom, you're going again. I feel like that's what this is going to be for Red Bull, because Red Bull can't stop.
No, of course
Red
not.
Bull can't not perform. No matter who's at the helm, it can't keep being the Max show. But I will say this weekend, Yuki Tsunoda literally said, Laurent gave me a wink, and it filled me with confidence before we went out. Laurent was doing a post-show interview with F1 TV. Shout out to Alex Brundle and all of the amazing people over there. And Alex Brundle asked him the question, and he responded, yeah, we actually failed Yuki this week because we took too long to make the call on the tire change. And I'm like, okay, this is different. It's
almost
not
that the second driver matters at Red Bull
Yes,
now.
this is not what we've been seeing from Red Bull. And so I think there is something to say about that culture that we were describing before, that blood in the water, sink or swim. That's not what Laurent is bringing to this team. And so that does help certain personality types thrive.
Yeah.
And certain personality types are attracted to that. Look at a team like Williams.
Mm-hmm.
James Vowles is very much like that. He protects his drivers. He's honest with them.
Yeah.
But it's very much a culture of we're all building this together. We're all rising together.
Yeah.
Look at McLaren right now. We have 2 number 1 drivers, Oscar and Lando. We're building this together. Today, Lando loses, Oscar wins. They're asking a question, and Lando goes, look, it's our first 1-2 here in forever. And he just raced better than me.
Yeah.
That's never been the case at Red Bull for as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
And so if we're moving towards that, then you're creating an atmosphere where somebody can actually thrive. So they're not afraid that after 2 races, they're going to get dumped.
That is what I think is going to change at Red Bull, is you're not going to have the 2 race and you're gone culture anymore. I think Red Bull is going to have to refind itself.
Right.
And we're going to see them as a team, as a brand, try to figure out what post Horner looks like for them. But I do think we're past that level of ruthlessness within the team.
Yes.
And just Yuki being able to say, like, hey, he gave me a wink. I had confidence, and like there's this new sense of like, oh yeah, we have a second driver. And that second driver actually matters. And their performance matters. And their confidence levels matter. It all impacts how they race. It impacts how they show up and how they're able to perform. And so I do think that this era of Red Bull, the ruthless, I do think has come to an end.
100%. Because Red Bull went from unstoppable to unwatchable. And there's no Newey. There's no race wins. There's no max loyalty. There's no team principle now. Like, Red Bull might still be an energy drink, but they're definitely not a racing team right now.
Yeah.
And if Laurent could come in and change all of that.
Yeah.
We need to Americanify his name.
Meckies.
That's more Australian, but I'm here for it.
Let's go Meckies.
Let's
go Meckies.
If Meckies can come in and turn that around.
Yeah.
We could see Red Bull rise again in 2026.
Not now.
It's not coming back this year.
No. They're done. Can we talk Max?
Let's talk Max.
Obviously, Max has been in the middle of a lot of rumors. So many folks are just calling it, like several weeks ago. They're like, Max, Mercedes, huge deal. It's coming.
Yeah.
Max has fielded a lot of questions. He was vacationing in the same spot Toto was in. And Max was like, it's possible for 2 people to be in the same place.
Oh, yeah, for the same 7-hour period of the day. Yeah, no, we just happened to take out private jets and hop on yachts that were just a few feet away from each other.
But it's completely accidental.
Yeah, it's accidental. That we literally did that for 7 hours a day. Now, I know you're rich, but that's another level of like, what are you doing for lunch? Let's hop on a plane. Let's run into Toto by accident. Please.
So
who's falling for that?
Here's my question, though. There was the Sky Sports team this weekend talked about how Max once again is asked about his future.
Right.
This time doubled down on Red Bull and said, I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. This is where I want to be, in a way that felt more concrete than he's done before. So, A, do we believe that? And B, at this point, like, what does Max have to say for us to believe him about anything about his future?
Max can say whatever he wants. It all means nothing to me. I don't believe a word that comes out of anyone's mouth in F1 about contracts. Contracts mean nothing.
Contracts are trash. They don't even matter in F1. There's so many clauses, they just find their way out of them.
Exactly. Like, no. I think Max could go if he wanted to Mercedes.
Of course.
I don't think it's the smart choice. I think he should stay at Red Bull through the first year of 2026, see what Red Bull's car's like, and more importantly, see what everybody else is like. Because what happens if Mercedes sucks?
Like they have in the past at certain moments.
Like this whole freaking period. What are you talking about? This whole reg change that we're coming to the end of.
Listen, we found our North Star. We are going for it.
And they know it. That's not where they want to be. No. They're hoping to turn it around. They're putting everything into it.
They still haven't.
Williams could pop off. Kick has come out of nowhere this season. Who knows what they're going to do? And the big, giant neon sign that is asking, what about Aston Martin with Newey? He hasn't. He literally leaves the room when they start asking questions about the 2025 car. He doesn't want anything to do with it. He's 100% focused on 2026. He's not doing anything but 2026. And you would have to be an idiot to take a bet against Adrian Newey.
And
Honda power unit. Exactly.
So you're saying he's staying?
He's staying at Red Bull
one more year
because it's Max and contracts means nothing. So at the end of 2026, if Red Bull sucks or if they're not as good as they should be, he's going to go. Who's not going to take Max?
Yeah.
Who wouldn't in a second pull a Zach Brown on Danny Ricciardo and buy out any one of their drivers to get Max Verstappen?
Oh, of course you would.
Lewis Hamilton went to Ferrari. And Ferrari stock turned people into millionaires overnight.
Unreal.
What do you think happens when Max Verstappen
goes to Aston?
The literal hottest thing in Formula One right now and has been, goes anywhere. Yeah. Anyone would give a driver $22 million in a second and Max 300 because their entire brand just became $1 billion more important. And that's why I don't believe a thing that Max says, but I also think that he is going to stay where he is until he sees where the chips fall.
It's the smart move on his part for all the reasons you said. I think Max, I want to say this carefully. So I'm going to say something and I want to qualify it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to impact...
I'm so excited.
This is going to impact where Max goes next year. And it's to your point. Max has nothing left to prove.
Yep.
Now, every F1 driver inherently has something to prove.
Yes.
I don't think Max has anything left to prove in this way. He has already won 4 world champions.
Yep.
He is in the prime of his life.
Yes.
He only needs 4 more.
Right.
And he is the greatest of all time. And he's still in his freaking 20s.
Oh, dude. He's youngin'.
So when Max is thinking about next year and he's thinking about if he goes to Mercedes, does he go to Aston, does he stay with Red Bull? I think to your point, it is the wisest thing for him to do to just say, hey, I'm just going to stay at Red Bull.
Correct.
I don't know who's going to get it right and who's going to get it terribly wrong.
100%.
Last time Mercedes had gotten it terribly wrong.
Terribly.
Ferrari has gotten it terribly wrong for 2 decades. Almost all of Max's life, they've gotten it terribly wrong. So he's looking and saying, well, if I have to look at recent history, Red Bull actually this year, not included, has gotten it the most right recently.
Right.
So if I'm Max, I'm not a Chuck. I'm not a Lando. I'm not an Oscar who's gunning for their first world championship and has got something to prove. I'm like, I've got years of my prime still. I can afford to just wait, see where everyone's at with these new regs.
Yep.
And then make a decision after that. And again, contracts mean nothing. Max can get out of his contract. And again, to your point, who in their right mind, if you're an Aston, if you're in a Mercedes, isn't going to sign this guy?
100%.
So again, and it's possible that Red Bull gets it right next year. That is still a possibility.
100%.
Now, they don't have Adrian Newey. And if I'm a betting person, which I'm not, I'm leaning heavily towards Aston coming out the gate with something that's formidable.
Yes, or Mercedes finally turning it around.
Or Mercedes finally figuring it out. Ferrari, wake me when they win.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But if I'm Max, I'm like, I don't have the pressure on me like some of these other drivers who haven't won yet.
100%.
Do. So those are my thoughts as far as Max and pressure and where he goes.
Yes. Okay, we talked about not being excited for Ferrari's car for 2026, but let's take a moment and talk about the Ferrari drivers today.
Yes.
We've been really hard on Ferrari. We have rightfully very, very hard on Ferrari.
Slightly less hard than Aston, but yes.
Yes. I'm going to ease up a little bit because Chuck's performance lately has been stellar. He has placed it, obviously, in Spa in third place. Before that, he's been on the podium.
He's been on the podium a couple times so far. Quite a bit, yeah.
And then today, obviously, Hamilton had a trash weekend overall.
He did.
However, he started from the pit lane with a new power unit and went from 18th place to 7th.
Yeah. Formidable.
That is formidable on a track where everyone else,
where Max started 4th and finished 4th.
Correct. Where Lando struggled to get within a few good seconds of his teammate and stay there.
Yeah.
It was a struggle for most, and he was chopping up that field like an avocado roll at a sushi restaurant. He was dynamite.
The Ferrari boys, they did better this weekend than they have in the past. Now, here's my one comment about Chuck and my one comment about Hammy. First, Chuck. Chuck held Max Verstappen behind him the entire race.
Yeah, and Max was not hanging back.
No, and again,
he was looking at the gearbox of Chuck lap after lap after lap.
Was only 1.6 seconds ahead of Max at the end.
And you could tell Max was breathing down his neck.
So, I mean, we're talking hand-to-hand combat, almost the entire 100%. Race. And that's some significant props for a Ferrari
and for Chuck. Yes.
So, huge podium for
100%.
Chuck. Huge podium. Now, again, he's 20 seconds off of Oscar in first.
Yes.
But still, that's massive. Yeah. Now, here's the second thing. My comment about Lewis. Yes, Lewis came from 18th to 7th. Massive. I have one caveat, one little asterisk, though.
Should he have been in 18th?
Well, no. The driver in 6th place ahead of him was Alex Albon. And Lewis was behind him for, I don't know, like 30 laps of the 44-lap race. I mean, he could not, in a Ferrari, get past a Williams
100%.
Of Alex Albon. Now, again, I don't want to take anything away. Like, Lewis came from the bottom and finished up here. But you got to at least be like, well, hang on a second.
Right, 100%.
What's the Williams doing? Now, again, it wasn't like Lewis took the whole race to get from 18th to 7th. No, he got to 7th pretty quick.
100%.
And then he just stayed there. Like, Max stayed behind Chuck and couldn't get past him. Now, again, we get it. This track is impossible to pass on. But hang on a second. Lewis passed like 10 people.
Exactly.
So he showed you he could pass until he hit the stone wall that was a Williams.
But here's why. Because the Williams was set up on a low drag setup. So they had almost no wing. and Lewis would have had to go onto dirty track in inconvenient areas that was either wet or full of marbles to get around Alex Albon.
And we saw Lando hit marbles and just
exactly.
spinning.
Yeah, he lost 1.2 seconds.
Yeah.
And the thing with Albon is that by the time Lewis had gotten to him, he had overtaken the rest of the freaking grid, 11 people, and that takes some life out of your tires. And so he is a racing god, but at the end of the day, he is still a human working with a machine that can only do so much.
By the office blue colored boring Williams
of
Alex Albon. Now again, props to Alex Albon. We didn't even talk about
huge
him.
props to
Alex Albon. Keeping ahead of Lewis.
Yes.
Again, like we saw Ferrari actually show up this weekend. Lewis, I think, got driver of the day. Well deserved.
What does that mean?
I mean,
the Salesforce driver of the day. What does that mean?
It just means we all think that he did a good job. Do you think this is a turning point for Ferrari? Is this something that we actually need to say, okay, there's a trend here. We're starting to see more podiums. We're starting to see.
I mean, they're the second best team this season. So as much guff as we've been giving them, they are performing still. And yeah, I think they are getting more consistent. I think for me, I look at Chuck, who's been with the team for a long time, and he's putting that car in P3. Then yeah, I think
the only ones ahead of you are McLaren.
Exactly. And I think that's the only ones that they're really worried about is McLaren, maybe Mercedes, and Max. But yeah, for primary focus is McLaren. I don't think they're going to beat McLaren this season.
No.
It would take a wildly efficient upgrade in which they were telling us they just put the final upgrade on for the year. So it's unlikely.
I have another thought with Hamilton.
Yeah.
Can we stay with Hamilton for a second?
Let's stay with him.
So something interesting happened this week. Hamilton looked back on the recent history in Ferrari, and he made a very interesting observation.
Yep.
He said, a lot of champions have went to Ferrari when they've been in a lull in their career.
Yeah.
And they have sought to rebound at the winningest team in F1 history, right? And he called them out, right? Alonso, Kimi Räikkönen, Vettel, all champions, all drivers who went to Ferrari when they had hit a wall, and then their career just kind of went
world champions
down.
Go to Ferrari to die.
Like they're done.
Yes.
Vettel continued to Aston, but it was a PR move at best. They just needed a world champion to kind of kickstart that thing, and then he was out. He didn't do anything there. Ferrari has become this kind of graveyard of world champions.
100%.
Hamilton called this out, and he said, I have no intention of being one of them. He made comments about how Ferrari is not where he thought they were when he joined. And this is thanks to Teddy, the Sky Sports team, their wonderful reporting here. Hamilton has actually written papers to the team.
Amazing.
With directives, with expectations of where he expects them to go. Because they're not where he needs them to be. And I think it's incredible that Hamilton's saying, listen, I'm seeing the writing on the wall here. I'm not going to be the fourth world champion to come to your team, the winningest team in F1 history.
Yeah.
For you to just put my gravestone up and this will be the end of my career. That's not happening. But if I'm going to turn this around, if I'm going to bring a championship back to Ferrari, you have to make some changes. You have got to shift. There's got to be some things that you used to do that you stop, some things that you haven't been doing that you start. And I think this was incredible. And this is leadership.
Yep.
We're seeing Lewis go into this team and say, listen, hang on a second. I am seeing things that I'm not comfortable with.
100%.
And if I'm going to finally end the drought, and I can appreciate that as a Cleveland fan, right? Like LeBron's like, hey, if we're going to end the drought here, we got to change some things. We got to fix some things. we're seeing the kind of leadership from Lewis. Now, my question to you is this. Where does that put Chuck in the team? You've got Lewis who comes in.
That's a great question.
And he just says, we are going to change. I'm going to start giving you directives. I'm going to exert my prowess in this moment. What's Chuck thinking?
Yeah, everyone keeps saying that Chuck's performance is amazing right now, and it's really showing how great of a driver he is, which he is. But I don't know if his performance is that great in comparison to Lewis Hamilton. When you think about the fact that Chuck has been at this team, knows everybody, driven their power unit, driven their setups, been with them through the developments, and then you take Lewis out of a team that he was with for 8 years, almost a decade with the same people, almost a decade with the same car, almost a decade with the power unit, the engineers, the design team, all of it. You put him in a Ferrari, which he's never driven, completely different. Concept is like Venus and Mars.
Yeah.
Chuck has 139 points. Hamilton has 109. There's a 30-point difference between the two of them. It's not that big.
It's not
that big of a delta.
No.
In
5th and 6th place.
We're talking about a guy who's getting up to speed with a car that he's completely unfamiliar with. And he's right behind his teammate. Right behind his teammate who has, for all extensive purposes, been a vet at Ferrari. He's a Ferrari vet at the moment. He has sat in that seat longer than a lot of the field has had their seat at all. Now, combined, they have less points than either of the McLaren drivers. But that's not the part. The part is I think Hamilton is going to come out next year, and if that car is what they say it's going to be, or if it's not, he is going to be on equal parts, if not better than Chuck. I think we will start to see, after today's performance, I would bet all the money in my pocket. I think I have a quarter right now.
I have none. So
okay. I'd bet the quarter in my pocket that by the end of this year, Hamilton will be giving Chuck a run for his money. And if the question is what's up with Chuck, that's when it will be asked.
You think Ferrari made the right call to keep Chuck and let Sainz go? Sainz was the one that had won races for them. Did they make the right call? Or are they just so blinded by like their love of Chuck that they just can't see anything different?
It's a really good question. Did Ferrari make the right decision choosing Chuck over Sainz? I think it's 6 one way, half a dozen the other with those two. I would consider Sainz and Chuck in the same category.
They were equally matched.
Two sides of the same coin. You have Chuck, which crushes qualifying. And then you have Sainz, which has killer racecraft and a strategic mind.
Yeah.
And so I don't think they could have made a bad decision. And it wouldn't have been the decision I would have made. I would have gone with Sainz, and I would have gone with Sainz and Hamilton.
I would have as well. Obviously,
that's surprising. I didn't think you were going to say that.
No, here's the thing. Chuck has been there. He is a vet. They've committed to him from day one, and he has been their guy. But Sainz really took it to him when he was there. And Sainz, we saw this utter resilience in Sainz. Now, again, Chuck has had his moments. He really has.
Oh, 100%.
You think Monaco when he wins and just him weeping out, coming out of the tunnel and just...
They're both incredible.
They're incredible. But I think about Sainz. I think about his racecraft. I think about his strategy. I think about, again, just this guy who... There's this raw hunger in Sainz. And I love me a good underdog. I love me someone who wasn't the one that got picked and then said, okay, screw y'all. I'm actually going to show you what I am made of.
Right.
And we saw that last year from Sainz, We saw that in how he was racing. We saw that when he got the note that Hamilton was coming for his seat.
Yeah.
It was his last season in Ferrari. So I would have went with that because that kind of hunger I would take any day over entitlement.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Chuck's entitled.
No.
But if there's any team that's been more in love with a driver, it's Ferrari with Chuck.
Ferrari loves him some Chuck,
been
man.
in love with that guy since day one. Like, and they've not been secretive about it.
Yeah. And Italy loves him.
And I mean, so it's just one of those things where it's just like Hamilton this week, I feel like something has shifted in how Hamilton is posturing himself to that team.
Yes.
And it felt like he was taking the reins of the stallion a bit harder this week.
Right.
And pulling them closer to him because listen, I've done the whole championship winning thing that you all have forgotten how to do. Yeah. I'm going to lead you there.
Yes.
Chuck, you're nice. You have not done it. I've done it.
Yes.
I'm taking
Here's what you need. Yeah.
And that felt like this changing in the winds, this shift.
Yeah.
And I think that's significant.
I think it is.
If you can do it.
I think you're completely right. Okay. I want to talk about something.
Very specific of you.
Something. The word something.
I want to talk about something.
I want to talk about the difference between some of the drivers' perspective on the weather in Spa. So it rains. It's a deluge. It's a tsunami. When it starts, it's bucketing down and the course is wet.
Yeah.
And there's standing water. Okay. I'm here for that. We don't need to do a race in that. The moment they hit the water.
Yeah, I mean, the spray is insane.
Right. Then it starts to chill out a bit. And they start doing lap after lap after lap behind the safety car. And it's like when is this going to start? Like the track is drying up. It's drier than when it rains sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And the FIA got some flack from most notably, Verstappen and Hamilton said this should have started. We should be racing.
Yep.
We should not be doing laps behind the safety car.
Yeah.
Drivers like Sainz, Norris, they commended the FIA for postponing the race start and delaying the rolling start. What are your thoughts on this? Like, do you think once it's at a place where it's visible, Max was cheeky. He was like, yeah, if you can't see, just lift then. I'll go past you. And, but I think there's something to the fact that we have the world's 20 best drivers.
Mm-hmm.
We have drivers that have been doing this since they were, some of them 8 or younger.
Yeah.
They've driven in the wet thousands of times.
Mm-hmm.
They sit on simulators like this week in and week out. They practice what it's going to be like in those kind of conditions. Do they need perfect track conditions in order to start?
They don't need perfect track conditions in order to start. I do feel like this season the FIA has gotten a little cautious.
Yeah.
A little more cautious than they should. Silverstone.
Yes.
The same commentary from the drivers. They're like, why are we still behind the safety car? What is going on? Let us free. Let us race. And it was conditions where you're like, it's mixed conditions. Obviously, there's rain.
Yep.
But the safety car just kind of, it's like one of those guests at your house where like everyone else is left. They're still there. You're like, what are you still doing here?
You've turned off all the lights. I'm blowing out the candle. Like, get off my couch. Go home.
House.
Yes.
And the safety car has been doing that recently where it's like, wait a second.
Why are you here?
Why are you still here?
Yeah.
Like,
what's your name again? Yeah.
How did you get an invite?
Yeah.
Let these guys go. And so here's my thing. When you can't see and you're driving at 200 miles an hour, that is a moment where I'm like, okay, FIA, I get it. The conditions were pretty rough. Spray was pretty bad. Visibility was bad. I can understand you causing or you pausing the race, but this prolonging of the restart is the thing that I think drivers are starting to say, hey, let's just get on with it, bro.
Let's get out there.
And so again, we're here to watch racing.
Yes.
We're here to watch these guys go at it. And these laps count against the laps in the race.
Yes.
Right. And so when every lap counts and we see a Lando chasing down Oscar and he ran out of laps,
Mm.
there's these moments where you're like, wait, hang on a sec. If we gave the first 5 away to the safety car, we could have been racing for 5 more laps.
Yes.
And the outcome very well could have been different.
Right.
So that's the point where I think you really start seeing the impact of prolonging this on the actual race.
Yes. Okay. That's really good. And I think for me, I'm looking at them and I'm saying, you're the 20 best drivers. It's not going to be safe. It's never safe.
No,
and
people
you signed
die.
up. You signed
people
up for
die
this.
doing this.
You signed up for it though.
Yes.
And so I think we should let them race. Last thing I want to talk about, and then you can talk about whatever you want.
Oh, I have nothing else because nothing else happened this weekend.
The race was so boring.
Christian Horner got sacked. Max we're unsure where he's going.
Kick came out of nowhere.
Kick came out of nowhere.
Gabrielle Bordoletto scored points.
He did. Haas double points finish in the sprint.
Pretty amazing.
That's great. And Sainz is still suffering.
Yeah, if you want to sum up the Belgian Grand Prix, here's what happened. It rained. You listened to them pontificate for 2 hours. And then
poor Crofty is just like,
struggling. Cut back to the
Nico
team
Rosberg,
principal again.
Get in here. Talk to us about when you and Hamilton rode four-wheelers when you were 13. Please, God.
Exactly. Why did we have Haas as the pit wall this week? My gosh, those poor guys. Please. Yeah, so they talked about really nothing for 2 hours, and then the race happened. It was a rolling start. Nice shout out. Thank you for that, Crofty. And Lando biffed the beginning. Oscar overtook him, and that was the whole race.
And that was it.
And we watched Hamilton snake through the field.
We did.
To get stopped by a Williams. That's the race recap. You're welcome.
Yes.
The thing that I want to talk about is a comment that Gunther Steiner made this week.
I've not heard this comment, so go for it.
And I'd be interested. So he says that there's no bad drivers on the F1 grid at the moment. There are certain drivers that are excellent. He says Max Verstappen is the best driver on the Formula One grid at the moment. And here's why he said this, Ben. Because he is obsessed with driving. And whenever he is not on the track, he is in the simulator. And he's doing more than just driving Formula One cars. He's driving GT cars. Mm-hmm. He's driving Le Mans cars. He's driving anything that has 4 wheels. He is completely and utterly immersed in driving at all times.
He has his own sim team.
And what was really interesting to me is that Jonathan, the guy who runs this location here at World of Racing, he was telling us that Formula One cars have so much downforce that when you're driving them on the simulator, you can be tricked into not even realize how good the car is.
Yeah.
And when you go and drive all of these other cars like GT cars, they're actually almost harder to drive than a Formula One car because they're so much less in control of what's going on because of the aero packages. Mm-hmm. And so my thought was, do you think what everyone else is saying, Max, get off the sims, do you think this is actually part of the strategy towards the next generation of drivers? Is what does it say?
I mean, the comparison that my mind went to is AI in tech.
Yeah.
AI has revolutionized tech. NVIDIA, which creates chips for AI, has blasted past Apple and Microsoft. It is the most valuable company in the world. AI is the future. Now, again, I have feelings about that. Regardless of my feelings, NVIDIA don't give
no, they don't care.
Don't give a
crap. Nor do their stockholders.
Because that's the future. So when I think about what you're saying with Max, with his obsession for racing, and it's not just Formula One, it's his own sim teams, it's other circuits, it's other racing. Max is obsessed with it, which is to Steiner's point.
Yes.
He is the best because he wants it the most.
Yes.
And even though he still has it, even though he's gotten the championships, he doesn't stop. Max is can't stop, won't stop.
Yes.
When he's not racing in the car, he's racing in the sim.
Exactly.
When he's not racing in the sim, he's dreaming about racing.
Right. Exactly.
And that is what distinguishes and has always distinguished Max among his peers. Max doesn't have the best car.
No.
He doesn't. But Max has taken cars that deserve to just be dropped into the Atlantic,
garbage can,
on their way back to the UK, and
Yeah.
has brought them across the finish line. It's because Max is a complete racer.
Yes.
Mind, body, his soul. That's what he is. That's who he is. And so I do think that we will see simulators have more and more of a part to play
Yeah, 100%.
in how the next generation of racers is coming into Formula One, is getting introduced to it,
100%.
how they're training for it. It's like AI. It's here to stay.
Yeah.
You can like it or not.
If you love F1, you should experience this.
Yes.
You should come down here to World of Racing, and you should sit in these simulators on Tuesday night. You should race Spa just like they race Spa. And you should go through it. It's amazing. There's a driver's briefing, there's practice, there's qualifying, and then there's a race where you race 19 other people and you see what you're made of.
And this isn't like Mario Kart, right?
No.
Like these simulators are literally, as much as some folks make in an entire year, it has like 8 points.
Yes.
Where as you are driving, you are feeling everything that the car is experiencing. You are feeling the braking, you're feeling the gravity. You're even they have to turn the G-forces off.
100%. As the car goes, you feel the undulation of the corners. You're moving in and out of it. It's amazing. It dips when you brake. It throws it. It's designed to be like the real thing, and it feels like the real thing. Come down and experience World of Racing here, Tustin, and also Pasadena and Phoenix. Go and see what it's like to be a Formula One driver.
Absolutely.
It's going to be amazing. Well, next week is the wonderful Budapest.
Why do I always kind of forget about Budapest?
Yeah, I literally, when they said that, I was like, oh, yeah, we have a race in Budapest. Yeah.
Last year, I remember Lando stopping on the straight, letting Piastri from 7 seconds back catch up to him, and then win the race.
Which, oddly enough,
so exciting.
We said he was asked about next week, and Lando said he's very excited because he always goes well at Budapest, which is true. It's his track, and Spa is not his track.
No.
Historically, he's not done well there. Finished obviously second, not too bad, not the best. We're going to see that. They're 16 points apart.
Hey,
the fight is on.
We are there. This season, F175 has just been McLaren duking it out.
Yeah. And other great stories, though. Like, for such a dominant season, it's been surprising how entertaining the rest of the field has become. And how great of racing we've seen throughout this whole season. Yeah. It's not disappointing.
No, it's not disappointing, even though it's McLaren just going at it, because we see the drama, we see the back and forth, we see racecraft. And then, to your point, we see incredible other stories coming out of the woodworks.
100%.
So next weekend should be fantastic.
I want to take a moment and say thank you to World of Racing for inviting us out to record here. Absolutely amazing. We can't wait to hop on these simulators. Bradley, I'm coming for you. And it's going to be wonderful. We'll talk after Budapest.
Thanks, folks.